Hello, everyone, and this is Steve Hambersky. He's the library director at Neiman, and he works a lot with the 3D printers here. So we were wondering, what is a 3D printer?
3D printer is a machine that can take a basically two-dimensional object, and they can stuff that I'm not able to do, turn it into a three-dimensional print. It's basically a filament that they have different kinds that you can run through the machine, and it has an extruder at the end, and it melts the filament, and then based on the computer with the X, it has the X and Y as, and then it has the Z for the height of an item, and based on those determinations, it positions the filament to where it should be on the build plate that they have, the hot plate that they have here. So probably not the greatest definition of it, but that's kind of it's can use all kinds of materials. We use the PLA, which is supposedly not as some of are not as I don't want to say put out as much smell to it. There are some of the different plastics that have quite a smell to them, or fumes that you don't want to really breathe in. So they, some places, if they have some of that, they'll put it in it, they'll encase it in plastic so that you can keep control of it a little bit better. You can have all kinds of colors, all kinds of materials. There's a bamboo, there's a gold filament that you can get. It's basically the plastic, and it's infused with bamboo or wood or however you'd like it to make it out of. It's the choices in that you have anymore are just amazing. You can go to Amazon, put in 3D printer filament, and there's hundreds of different kinds. So, anything else?
And could you show us some examples of stuff you
Yep.
3D printed?
Sure. The first thing we printed, I have out there, is a chess set. There's something simple I found on Thingiverse, which is a place where people who create 3D ideas or designs put them for the public to use, usually without copyright, so you can print them. Most of the time, if you do make something on Thingiverse, they just want you to send a picture back to them of what you did, and show that it's how you did their project or their design. So that's kind of this about 50% of what the thing was supposed to be. This is at 100%, and the one I printed was actually at 75%. So some of the other things that we've used it for, a lot of toy making. This was supposed to be a full skull, so that it would open and close. It didn't quite print the way I expected it to, so I didn't finish printing the bottom half of it. But for an anatomy class, it would come in kind of handy. When they had, the STEM Club did last year, when I think they had either a rocket launch, or they did something where NASA was doing something special last year. The president of the STEM Club created this. Somebody had here on Thingiverse had created the actual rocket. One of the earlier, I don't know which one this is, but it comes apart, and it's done in 3 to 4 different pieces, and you just put them together. And it's not going to stand up on the plastic there. We first got the printer. Game of Thrones was still big, and so this was the chair, the throne chair, sword chair, whatever. Problem is, it was printing, somebody bumped it. I'm not saying who it was, because it wasn't me. Just kidding. And it kind of knocked it off balance or off center, so it started up again. But it was one of the things we found, that we have a policy of not designing anything that's can be used as a weapon. But since these had swords on there, we had to adjust that policy a little bit to make it to where it would fit the policy better, even though the swords aren't usable. But it was something that somebody thought we needed to do. So that was kind of neat. Something more practical application. This was a test of a Snapchat. Is that right? What these
Yeah.
are? I'm not up on technology for that of that nature that well. But our admissions people wanted one to go to where if they scanned it, it would take them straight to their website. And so we ended up practicing with this, and then we ended up making it about 4 inch by 4 inch, and then this base for it to sit in. And so they can take it with them when they go out to the schools to visit. And all the kids have to do is snap the picture of it, and it takes them right to their website. So that was more practical here for Newman. Maybe so you can see what it can do with sports teams. This is the Kansas City Chiefs one that I had done all in green, which I know ain't their colors, but you can either paint them with the paint to make them the color, or if I had the right materials, right colors, I could do I think this one is actually designed to do red and then a white one in the middle for the middle section, and then a black on the top, so you'd actually have the right colors. And it looks pretty cool on the Thingiverse, but we don't have all the different colored filaments that we need for a lot of this stuff. So we can use two filaments at a time. We have what they call a dual head extruder, and we take this one off. You can see where this hooks in here and this one hooks in the other one, and so you can actually run two filaments at the same time. So if you had a red and white on there, you could really do this pretty easy, because it would do all the red first, and then as it needed white, it would move the white one in there. We have our occupational therapy students, and they do a project every year, and one of the students had a grandfather who was missing his hand, and so this was kind of when this was first coming out, so she found it as design. We figured out how to help her research it, and then she went to a local company that had one, and they actually printed everything she needed, and then she could buy the equipment to have all the wires so that it would move the hand for her grandfather. And I thought that was pretty cool, and he could pick up stuff and all this kind of stuff. And so for kids that are kind of born as they grow, it's a lot cheaper. I think they said it was, for what she did, it was maybe $75 worth of material, where real one fancy one or whatever that was done by a hospital or medical people, you're talking a couple $1,000. So it is something that can be used as a helper for those who can't afford the high price of a lot of the medical stuff. Students use it for all kinds of things. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's school related.
All right, thank you, Steve, for the interview and for showing us how 3D printers work.